This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What's going on? It's Friday afternoon. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. 7milecasino.com. You're looking for something fun to do this weekend. Maybe you're headed to Padres Fan Fest. Come on by 7 Mile Casino. It's only 7 minutes south of downtown San Diego. Great table games with blackjack and poker and pie gow and others. I mean, I really only play blackjack, but I mean, there's a lot going on. And then on the other side of the casino is Sammy's Restaurant and Bar, Sammy's Woodfire Pizza. Great for a brunch on Saturday or Sunday. So come on by and good luck at 7 Mile Casino. And of course, you know, if you got any problems with gambling, you call 1-800-GAMBLER. But it's Friday afternoon. Today is February 3rd. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios and ready to go. Now, I think a lot of you hit me up yesterday because Alex put out a tweet and an Instagram message that said, hey, guys, sorry, no show today, being Thursday, because Alex got the Rona. And as he said, Scott lost his voice. Alex got the Rona, and it knocked his ass down. Me losing my voice, little bit of an exaggeration. I could have gone yesterday. Browner has proven yet again he is the Iron Man of this show. But
Clearly.
according to Grande, the Rona has kicked his ass. He is down for the count. So I've taken a couple of COVID tests this week. Negative. Guess what? You know what? You can still catch a cold in America. You can still have a runny nose and a little bit of a cough, and it can be a cold in America. I think that's actually good news. So anyway, we are on the air. It is Friday. We got a lot to get to. No Grande. In for Grande today. Our favorite comedian, Jason Lawhead, is here. Browner's in the house. Brown, what's good, dog?
You ever get a haircut and then feel like your head got bigger in a space that it probably wasn't supposed to when you got a haircut? That's what's happening to me right now. If you can look on the screen, I really feel like I had a maybe 3.5 full head. Now I feel like I got a 4.5, and I don't know how I appreciate that. So
You think they cut your hair back further off your forehead? They gave you more forehead?
yeah, I think he tightened the line up a little further back than I would have liked, but you know, I hadn't had a haircut in a while from this guy, so got to get back on the bike. Also, thanks to HD, I think y'all can see my gray hair.
Really? Really? You got a gray going, huh?
I got one. That's it.
Yank it
One.
out.
Nah, fam. What you doing? Nah. Black gray is wisdom. White gray is embarrassment. This is the two
Why?
totally
Why?
different things.
Why is white gray embarrassment? A lot of people think white gray is sophistication,
So why
experience.
don't you let your hair get gray, sir?
Because I don't like it.
See? You're
Yeah, but-
embarrassed by it.
Well, I am, because my daughters would be like, Dad, that makes you look so old. Go get your hair colored.
See?
But my buddies, hey, listen, all my buddies, they're like, I don't care. Chicks dig it.
My brother's in gray. It is a sign of wisdom. It is a sign that you have made it through stages in life to where your hair is permanently changing a whole nother color. Rock that thing, man. Don't be afraid. This one gray is one of many to come. You see, I ain't going bald. I ain't got the cul-de-sac going on. Ain't nothing falling out. But it's going to all be gray, and we're going to all live. We're going to all be wise. Wise man once said, let that gray hair grow.
Yeah, but you also said that for white people, it's embarrassing. For black people, it's wisdom. I mean, make up your freaking mind, dude.
No. I'm just saying. Just for men is made for white people. It ain't made for black people. It ain't made for black men. Okay? You see them commercials? Them be white dudes. Okay? They had to throw black guys in there because of affirmative action. If it wasn't no affirmative action, wouldn't be no black guys in no Just for Men commercial.
Really?
Think about it.
Who's the guys in the Just for Men commercial?
Walt Frazier's in it.
And Keith Hernandez.
Keith
Right.
Hernandez.
What he do?
It's a very eclectic group, Just for Men. It's not just for white.
Listen. So
Even though I use it in my beard because my wife makes me because she's younger.
See, here we go. See?
What?
Look, man, look. So is Frank. They got Frank Thomas, they got Doug Flutie, and then they got the other guy in that commercial about the testosterone.
Who is the other guy? Frank Thomas, Doug Flutie, and there is a third guy.
Right.
I'm trying to think of who it is.
I don't know who he is, but what I'm saying is they do that for public consumption. They don't do that for the product, because if you put that stuff in your hair as a black male, it don't take the same. I know a couple people who just stopped doing it. The beard works better, they say. The beard works better, but the actual up top hair, not great for black men.
Oh, really?
So maybe I need to come out with some hair coloring called Just for Brothers.
Well, I like what Jason said. The product is not called Just for Black Men. It's not called Just for White Men, you know? And I'm trying to remember who Nugenix uses besides Frank Thomas and Doug Flutie. I do think you're right. I do think there is like a third guy.
Yeah, it might be Keith Hernandez, apparently.
No, it's not. It's not Keith Hernandez. You don't even know
Mike
who Keith
Piazza.
Hernandez is. It's not Mike Piazza.
I'm just thinking of somebody with a different last
naming
name.
white guys.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it right now.
Dan Marino.
No, it ain't Dan Marino.
Oh.
Not Dan Marino.
Who desperately needs money as a former athlete? Because I don't know why Doug Flutie on them commercials. He shouldn't need no money. He threw a bunch of touchdowns.
Yeah, but it's not about the money. I mean, let me rephrase that. Not necessarily about purely just needing. It's like somebody comes to you and they're like, hey, we want you to do a television commercial. We're going to pay you a lot of money. Why would you not do that?
I mean, I guess, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I love the subliminal message. Frank Thomas is always the subliminal messages on those commercials is that like all of his friends' wives wants to do it. They're all like, "Hey, Frank, what changed?" And he's like, He's always like looking around at like a harem of women that are all like, "Frank."
Yeah. And then at the end, he's always like, "And she'll love it too." And he gives you a little wink.
And she'll love it
gives you a little
too.
wink. I just found the commercial on YouTube. It's Frank Thomas and Doug Flutie. It's only those two guys. You know, and I think the message is like Doug Flutie's like this little guy, you know, and Frank Thomas is like this big guy. So it kind of works for all guys, quarterbacks, you know, baseball guys, white guys, black guys, big guys, small guys. Every guy needs some testosterone, you know, and she'll love it too. And then he gives you the wink.
If you got a strong arm, it makes it stronger. If you got a weak arm, it makes it stronger.
Yeah. I mean, I'm literally watching it at the very end because then these two girls show up. She'll love it too. And he winks at him, and the girls are like, ooh, Frank.
Which one is it at the gym or the golf course?
I'm looking at the one on the golf course.
Okay, we're giving these people too much publicity. But yeah, great commercial.
Yeah.
Great commercial.
So J Law's in today for Grande, who, you know, Alex has worked through 3 different bouts of COVID and never missed a day. And apparently Corona has gotten to him and it has knocked him out. So J Law's in the house. Jay, how you feeling today?
Good, man. I'm a Just for Men client as well. I usually just for the beard. I'm not really going gray in the top yet, but I used to do a bit about like my wife's younger. She's 15 years younger, and she won't go out in public with me unless I'm Just for Men because then it kind of looks creepy. It looks like, you know, I'm human trafficking, or, you know, because I'm so old because everything's so gray and we're like walking through the parking lot and I'm always like, "Where's the car?" And people are like, well, "I think he's taking that girl. I think he's taking her." But yeah, man, good to be here and. Hopefully, Alex gets well soon. I may have had coronavirus once during the whole thing. That was enough. That was noticeable. That kind of made me feel crummy. But knock on wood, I've been lucky. I guess really haven't had that thing, you know, put me down or knock me back. So knock on wood. Hopefully I don't get it.
Yeah, I actually went to the doctor yesterday, and I took a flu shot and a tetanus shot, and he was like, "Hey, you know, I know."
Bit by something?
No, I didn't. It's just that I guess you're supposed to do a tetanus shot every 10 years, and I was due for it. And he actually asked me if I wanted to take the shingles vaccine.
Uh-oh.
But I was like,
"Did you?"
Well, no, because I took vaccine 1 of shingles, and I swear to you, like the next 3 days, it was like I had the flu.
Gave you shingles.
Well, it just
really
it really does have like a flu-like aftermath feeling. So I was like, no, dude, I got to travel this weekend. I can't get knocked out by the shingles vaccine. So,
are you gonna take it though? Because I've, you know, obviously they say over 50. I turned 50 recently, and they say over 50 you should get it. I don't remember if I had, was it chicken pox when you were a kid? Is that what it is? Because if you got chicken pox, then it's inside of you, right? Is that what it is?
I'm not exactly sure. I just know that I did have chicken pox as a kid. And anybody I know, male or female, that has ever had shingles, that is like, dude, you do not want to get shingles.
That's what
So I
heard.
took the first vaccine, and I was sick as a dog. And so I've yet to take the second vaccine, but I don't want shingles.
So it's a 2-shot vaccine.
Right. Double dose.
So when did you take the first?
It's been a while. Because let me tell you something. My doctor,
a while meaning like years, multiple years?
At least a year and change, because my doctor, this is kind of the weird thing. This is why I saw a doctor yesterday. I didn't have an appointment. but my doctor for 20 years, shout out to my doctor, Robert Kaplan. It was so easy to get an appointment with him. I
Any
had
relation?
no relation, but if I called his office, I'd say that I'm his nephew. Just it would always get me to the front of the line. In the meantime, I had this guy's home phone number. I had his private office number. I had his cell number. I had his email.
He's
I
your
had
uncle. You should.
right. He retired on me. Retired
No.
on me. This mother effer. He's like in his early 60s. He retired on me, right? So now I get this thing from Scripps. They're like, "Hey, you need to come see your doctor, Dr. Onishi." I'm like, "I don't freaking know who Dr. Onishi is." So they're like, "Well, he wants to meet with you because you're now his new patient." So I got moved from one doc to another doc, and I had to go meet with this guy yesterday. So while I was there, he started jabbing me with shots. I realized I've only taken 2 COVID vaccines. Like, are you guys beyond 2?
Yeah, I got 3.
I have 3. Didn't really want the third one, but for us to go to Europe, we had to. At the time, we booked the trip,
Yeah.
and then like literally 3 weeks before we flew to Barcelona, the UE, lifted all restrictions. You didn't have to prove that you had it in the last 6 months. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" But nothing's ever affected me from it.
Well, I didn't have it. I mean, they went through all my charts. I'm like, I didn't have it. And listen, with Alex getting COVID, I was like, whoa, man. Because for Alex to get knocked down, he comes from an old school Mexican family. They don't get sick. And even if they do, they brush it off. They're like, hey, I'm fine. I'm going to work.
Right. I'll only work 10 hours
Yeah,
today. Yeah.
I'm not missing work for something. And so for Alex to get knocked down the way he has, I mean, it's still out there and it can still
Oh,
get
yeah.
you know?
I think as we were talking about shingles as well, they need a new name because shingles doesn't sound scary enough.
No?
If it hurts really, really bad, they should call it something else.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a name right now, but they should make it sound bad because we can say
Asbestos.
That
when
one's
it says
taken, Jay.
when it says shingles, you're like, that doesn't sound too
Well,
bad.
shingles is like on a roof, so I was like,
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So listen, we got a lot we want to get to today. Let me start off with this. So on Wednesday, when we were on the air, final segment, we started talking about the Pro Bowl festivities. And I thought to myself, some of this sounds kind of cute and some of this sounds kind of dumb. Like yesterday, I don't know how, but I started to see on television, there was this like water balloon pitching comp. Did you guys see this? It was like one NFL player on one side, another NFL player on the other side, and these guys are throwing water balloons to each other like a freaking 6-year-old birthday party, you know? That one seems kind of dumb. Seems a little stupid to me, you know? That one doesn't seem so entertaining. But I did see a little bit of like the quarterback skill stuff.
Yes,
Did you see that?
that's the one I watched. And I got to tell you,
Yeah.
it was boring. It was boring. I need name. If you're gonna do that, I get that guys bailed because of their injuries.
Mhm.
If you're gonna do that, invite big name guys who didn't quote unquote make the. This is where Russell Wilson would have come in handy, because I don't got nothing against Hundley, but I need a bigger name. He did great in the competition. I wasn't blown away by him. I wasn't blown away by it in general. I found it to be very boring, and I was excited for that particular type of competition. And I really feel like I didn't get my money's worth.
So I gotta say, like, I'm complete football junkie. It's my number one sport. I have no interest in any of these Pro Bowl festivities. Did you guys also know that this weekend is the NHL All-Star game? Did you guys know that?
Oh.
You
Why
didn't know
they-
it?
I don't know.
What?
No.
What?
Yeah, I wouldn't have known it either, but I was watching last night Sports Center, and Scott Van Pelt was interviewing John Buccigross, who's another one of these, ESPN, specialists. Hockey's his area of expertise, and they're talking about the NHL All-Star festivities this weekend. And I'm like, wait, when did hockey season start? I got nothing.
That's something you will never find me clamoring for the NHL fill in a blank whatsoever. Like, okay, cool. When the Blackhawks were very, very good and in the playoffs and winning the Stanley Cup, I was watching a little bit of it, enough to just kind of recognize the rules and the game and remember some of the players' names because it was a Chicago thing. Now you couldn't, not on your life. Not on your life.
Yeah. I watched a lot of hockey when LeBron went to Miami because I was really kind of gut punched when he first left Cleveland. And I just really, and as a basketball guy, and that was like obviously glued to basketball for his early years in Cleveland and always been a basketball guy. I just couldn't watch the sport. I mean, I couldn't even tune in and see. Then it would be one thing if Miami fell on their face and I could have enjoyed it, but their success. I just couldn't even look at the screen. So I did watch a lot, and I kind of adopted the Blackhawks as a favorite team. And I'll still peek in on Stanley Cup games once in a while because the Stanley Cup playoffs to me are very exciting to watch. But yeah, I just don't keep an ear to the sport. Wouldn't have known. You could have told me when is the I don't even know really when the NBA All-Star game is. I get an idea of that it's further past the middle of the season. They've already played their 41 games and then some. But All-Star games to me, other than the Major League All-Star game, because it has some just kind of old school history. There's still the home run derby. You still get to see guys in their uniforms kind of line up, and there's a little pomp and circumstance to that. But I don't know anybody. I don't get why anybody gets interested in these all-star
Yeah, I
games.
know. And I saw like yesterday there were these NFL players that were doing a long drive competition. So okay, creative idea. Take a bunch of NFL players and let's see who can hit a golf ball the furthest. And there was this one player, I wish I knew who he was. He swears he's never played golf in his life, and he was trying to do like the Adam Sandler where you run at the
Oh,
ball, Happy Gilmore, and you kind of make it like a hockey thing. And he whiffed bad once, bad twice, and when he finally connected, he drove the ball like 310 yards, which was kind of funny. But these all-star games, and even as the NFL is trying to create something new and different and fun, it's just like I don't know who the audience is for it. I know I'm not the audience for it, but here's one thing that I took away yesterday that I did not understand. Maybe you guys can help me. So I'm watching Ryan Clark, the former Pittsburgh Steeler defensive back, and he's interviewing Derek Carr, the former Raider quarterback, who, by the way, he's another one of these late invitees to the Pro Bowl festivities. He's not currently associated with the Raiders, although I guess technically still under contract to the Raiders.
He was in town.
Right. He's available. He lives there. Like, hey, Derek, are you doing anything? He's like, no, what's up? They're like, you mind coming down to the Raider facility and maybe participating in some of these, festivities? He's like, oh, I can walk back into the Raiders facility and kind of stick it to those guys. Yeah, you know what? I'll do that. So he gets done with his skills competition and he's throwing, man. He's hitting everything. He's super accurate. And Ryan Clark asks him a question afterwards, and Carr gives an answer that makes everybody laugh hysterically. And maybe I just didn't get the joke. I don't get it. Here, can we play this? And maybe you guys can help me out here.
By himself. Listen, Derek, you've thrown touchdown passes in Vegas before. You've been on fire. Have you ever been that hot in Las Vegas?
Not that hot. It's probably why I'm going somewhere else.
Nice. Nice.
Bro, well, if this was your
Okay. All right. Not that hot. That's probably why I'm going somewhere else. And everybody's cracking up. And by the way, I know people feel like this year he just sort of picked up this weird kind of Merle Haggard, old school country music, Southern accent. It's so true. I don't know what the hell is with Derek Carr from Fresno. Not that hot. That's probably why I'm going somewhere else. Like what the hell? But what's the joke, Jay? What's the joke? Not that hot. That's probably why I'm going somewhere else. I didn't get it.
Well, I think just at the end of the day, they benched him on the way out, and it's probably a hint that he's not gonna work to do anything on the contract, and he's gonna force them to trade him before he's got to either re-sign or they have to re-sign him, or they get hit with a cap. So it looks like he's just saying, "Hey, I'm out of here."
Oh, he is out of there.
The Raiders,
and they asked
Raiders have to do what they have to do, to make this not fall apart on
No,
them.
and there's a deadline. It's February 15th, so it's like 2 days,
Right.
3 days after the Super Bowl. And the Raiders are asking Derek Carr and his representatives, hey, can we extend this? Let's have some more time. Let's try and figure this situation out.
No.
And Derek Carr's like, you
No.
guys benched me.
not. Exactly.
We ended our relationship. I wasn't even coming in and putting on the uniform and backing up your guy. You guys essentially kicked me out. Okay. So Carr said, and I'm reading this from ESPN, Carr said he will not agree to amend the date by which more than $40 million in guarantees kick in. So if they don't move him by February 15th, he's going to get all this money from the Raiders, and he's not going to be back with the Raiders. And instead of Derek Carr being like, you know what, that's a professional thing to do, I'll give you a little bit more time, let's see if we can work something out. Derek Carr's like, no, you humiliated me. Screw you guys.
I was the guy that brought this team to Las Vegas. I helped you get into the playoffs last year with a interim coach. And I mean, absolutely. Why would he?
No,
why would he?
He shouldn't, and he's not going to. But wait a second.
Take every cent he can, and then go make your country album.
All right, let me do this. Let me hit a quick break here, and then we'll come right back. We'll jump back into this, and I know you guys are both basketball first guys. And I know, Jay, you're a LeBron Cleveland background guy. I want to hear what you guys think about LeBron and how close he is now to breaking Kareem's record. We'll get to that story coming up. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. It's Friday. This is Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
When someone you know has COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, things can progress very quickly, making them feel hopeless. But it doesn't have to be like this.
See, Mom, this place is going to be great for you. They're going to help you breathe better.
Pulmonary rehabilitation at La Mesa Rehab focuses on patient education and training. We use special therapies to improve your lungs, clear out mucus, and keep you out of the hospital. Pulmonary rehab is Medicare approved. Call now to see if you qualify or ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab today.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray-Lampert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylampert.com for your consultation.
Surf Soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, and we do that here mostly in San Diego with our 1,000 kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
PNC Bank's sponsorship helps the kids here. One, it is to continue to help fund facilities like this where the kids can come play soccer. Two, it is really through our scholarship program. There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like Surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships to give an opportunity for kids who are low to moderate income to play on one of the elite teams in the U.S.
Having a partner like PNC who is community oriented and cares about the development of youth in the community is amazing because our missions are completely aligned and we're both driven by helping develop kids, and in this case through sport in San Diego.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Hey, everybody, it's Scott Kaplan from Kaplan and Crew. And with me right now is Rick Slider. He's the CEO of MedCline, which, by the way, is a pillow that is going to change your life. You have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm telling you right now. Rick, how you doing, man? Where do we find you today?
Scott, great to talk to you. I'm in sunny San Diego, a place you're pretty familiar with.
Yeah, I'm glad it's sunny out. I see the Padres stuff right over your head. That looks pretty cool. And some Beastie Boys. You got some cool stuff behind you.
We had a different sports team up on the wall for a while that had to be taken down, say half dozen years ago. But the Padres still flies prominently on the wall.
I love it, man. Hey, if you could, while we have this time together, can you tell everybody the backstory of MedCline and how you guys have become such a big San Diego company selling all over the world, and what the deal is with the MedCline systems?
Sure. MedCline started here in San Diego, started by a radiologist whose primary practice was at UCSD. And he was a longtime sufferer of heartburn and acid reflux. Tried everything, tried diet changes, was taking medication, proton pump inhibitors or PPIs that a lot of people take. But he was looking for a natural way to reduce his heartburn symptoms. And he found through trial and error that when he slept in an incline and when he slept on his side, his heartburn and acid reflux symptoms would dissipate. Because he's a doctor, he wanted to make sure that this just wasn't by chance. And so he set up some clinical studies using a system that he designed and patented. We got clinical trial results, found that there was a strong reduction in the esophageal acid that would take place during the night, reducing his symptoms. And with that, decided to create a product called MedCline and commercialized it a few years ago. And that is really how our company began, with his personal desire to stop his heartburn and reflux symptoms.
That's amazing. It really is amazing. Like when you have something wrong, you're like, I'm going to fix this problem. But you know what's amazing to me is that acid reflux is a problem that obviously a lot of people have. But for me, I have shoulder pain, chronic shoulder pain from the way I sleep, because I sleep with my arm over my head and then my pillow in between. So when I got my first MedCline, I didn't realize there's the reflux relief pillow, but there's the shoulder relief pillow. And it's completely changed everything for me. My shoulder pain has gone so far down because I'm no longer sleeping like this. I'm like underneath. And tell me about the shoulder pillow, please.
Sure. First of all, I'm so glad to hear that it's working for you. That's fantastic. Secondly, as we brought MedCline to the marketplace, we found that there were a number of individuals that benefited from therapeutic side sleeping beyond just those suffering from heartburn or GERD. And the primary use is for shoulder pain. And the reason I think people like you have been so comfortable with the MedCline is because of our patented arm pocket. When you try and sleep on your side and you have shoulder pain, you run the risk of your shoulder getting frozen, exacerbating pain that you might be feeling, whether it's due to rotator cuff, general shoulder soreness. And so our incline has a patented arm pocket that allows you to either rest comfortably on your elbow or to slide through, sounds like what you do, slide your arm through the system so you can stay at an elevation and sleep comfortably on your side throughout the night. And today, here in 2023, our shoulder product is actually our top seller. It surpassed those that suffer from heartburn and acid reflux, simply because there's more people with shoulder injuries across the country. And we're glad that we're able to help you out.
It's awesome. Hey, we don't have a lot of time, but in the last minute, would you just tell everybody how The MedCline products, though, have gone viral, particularly on TikTok. Just give us like a 30 or 60 seconds about what has happened.
You know, I'd love to say that I'm a marketing genius here, Scott, but really it's just about excited consumers sharing the benefits they get of MedCline. And it's amazing what happens when people finally can get a good night's sleep, how they're so excited to share that information. And recently, we've always been a part of social media, but recently we've kind of found a niche within TikTok. I didn't know that healthy sleep TikTok was a subgenre, but it really is. And with a few different posts, we've seen over just in the last 30 days, over 10 million people exposed to our MedCline products. So we're excited about the virality that this has created. I think it's in part because we have a 95% customer satisfaction rate. We know we can help people get a good night's sleep. It does take a while to adjust and sleep differently. But we're excited to see kind of the viral nature of our product grow, and we're excited to help out as many customers as possible.
It's awesome. I want to encourage everybody who's watching right now, go to medcline.com, medcline.com, look at the different products, know you're supporting a San Diego company, and I encourage everybody, sleep better with our friends from MedCline.
Drivers are getting in accidents at a rate we've never seen before, jumping 18% since 2020. There are higher incidents of speeding and more aggressive driving since the pandemic began. Please slow down and drive safely. It can save a life.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit and has become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com.
Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those with all types of lung disease and long COVID symptoms.
Surf Soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, and we do that here mostly in San Diego with our 1,000 kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
PNC Bank sponsorship helps the kids here. One, it is to continue to help fund facilities like this where the kids can come play soccer. Two, it is really through our scholarship program. There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like Surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships to give an opportunity for kids who are low to moderate income to play on one of the elite teams in the U.S.
Having a partner like PNC who is community oriented and cares about the development of youth in the community is amazing because our missions are completely aligned and we're both driven by helping develop kids, and in this case through sport in San Diego.
At the Barnes firm, we're seeing more pedestrian and bicycle accidents. Drivers are rolling through red lights, and distracted driving makes every intersection a danger zone for pedestrians. Look both ways when crossing, even if you have the right of way.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. Hey, what's happening? It's Friday afternoon. This is Kaplan and Crew. We're coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. It's Friday afternoon. Grande is out with the Rona. It has knocked his ass out. We got the Brown Man. We got Jay Law in the house. And so we got a lot we want to get to. Hey, before we get back to that whole Derek Carr situation, hey, Jay, I've been hearing a bunch of spots running on 1090 for a show that you've got coming up tomorrow night. It sounds like at a winery. What do you got cooking tomorrow night?
Yeah, so we're at LaFleur's Winery tomorrow night in San Marcos. I've never done the gig.
Matt
A
LaFleur?
guy by the name of Chris. I don't think it's Matt LaFleur. But we're going to be doing a little comedy show. Guy Chris Williams that saw me at Grand Comedy Club, Wasserman's Club in Escondido, booked me. He I guess books a few winery comedy shows and asked me to headline. So yeah, the tickets sold out. I appreciate the 1090 family for letting me run some spots on there. Hopefully that helped spurn some ticket sales. So it's a smaller venue, maybe 60 people, but they're nice and sold out. They're happy about that. And I'm going to go headline a few opening acts I've never worked with before. So it'll be new. It'll be interesting and looking forward to it. Yeah. And then next week, heading off to Reno to do the Silver Legacy for 3 nights before the Super Bowl, and then fly back home on Sunday, early Sunday morning. So I'm back in San Diego nice and early with plenty of time to settle in and watch the big game.
So total side note here. You guys both know this, and I've kind of hinted at it a little bit. I'm in the early stages of putting together an event somewhat similar to the one you're doing at the winery down at 7 Mile Casino, because a lot of our great friends are asking me, yo, like, what's the game plan here? When are we all getting back together? When are we going to all do something social and have some fun? Because even like this week, I've been getting a lot of messages from people. Hey, are you going to Padres Fan Fest? And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I got to go out of town this weekend, so I'm not going to make it down to the Padres Fan Fest. So when people say, hey, when are we going to all get together? When are we going to do something? I'm working on it right now with 7 Mile Casino, a big dinner and a big show. But I'm going to just leave it there. I don't want to get into too many details.
I love the idea. And even maybe that could even, find its way into being like a residency type thing once every few months. If they like what we do and everything, that would be something I think that could, in the future kind of be something we can kind of peddle, so to speak.
But you guys got to be cooperative though. I mean, I know you guys, sometimes, you want to control the show. You're going to have to understand, I got an opener to the opener.
Nope. Then I'm out.
Get out of here.
Then I'm out.
Get out of here.
Listen, I know where this is going. I'm out. Man, that'll be that for me, brother.
I'm asking everybody right now in our YouTube chat.
The fine print came out, Browner.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think I'm talking about? Anybody in the YouTube chat, get involved in this conversation and tell me what you think I'm talking about. So anyway, listen, we're just getting rolling here. So guys, we were talking about Derek Carr and how Derek Carr said to Ryan Clark, when Ryan Clark said, have you ever been that hot before here in Vegas? And Ryan Clark and Derek Carr was like, nope, never been that hot here before. That's probably why I'm on my way out. It's just so dumb. Listen, I get Derek Carr. Brother, I get it, man. They humiliated you.
For people who didn't hear it, here it is again.
All right, go ahead.
By himself. Listen, Derek, you've thrown touchdown passes in Vegas before. You've been on fire. Have you ever been that hot in Las Vegas?
Not that hot. That's probably why I'm going somewhere else.
That's probably why I'm going somewhere else. I tell you, that's probably why I'm going somewhere else.
That's a bad Elvis.
Yeah,
sounds like you're doing a bad Elvis.
It is a bad Elvis. It is a terrible Elvis. It's Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Like, people think, they're like, when did he turn into like old school Hank Williams Sr.? Like, what is he, Mr. Honky Tonk?
Does Vegas have an accent?
No, dude. He's from freaking Fresno, bro.
Listen, when you move to a place, you adopt the language, man.
Nah, man. He's had that for years. He had it when he was in Oakland, and people just didn't really recognize it as much. But lately, it's become more pronounced. He just sounds like an old school country singer, kind of weird, like Elvis.
To each their own. But the way Russell Wilson panders to the, God is good crowd, like, that's kind of just more of a pandering voice to
So let me ask
the
you a question.
church and the followers and the people, and that's fine, whatever, to each their own, but that's pretty much what that is.
Let me present a question. Would you say he's more from Texas because his brother played for the Texans, in which that's probably where he grew up, because that's where his brother was, that's where the money was, so the family probably all move to Texas.
No.
Where would
What
you
do
rather
you mean
live?
probably?
Would you
You
rather
can
live in
easily
Houston
find
or
this
Reno?
out.
Would
You can
rather
easily
live
find this out.
Would you rather live in Houston or Fresno? Come on, guy. What are we doing here?
Come on, guy.
Yeah,
Come on, guy. He
Give me
went.
Houston.
Just look him up, dude. He grew up in Fresno. He went to Fresno State. Family didn't go moving down to Houston. Okay.
Perhaps he's jockeying for the Texans' job for him to get into, Houston somehow as their next
I'll
quarterback.
tell you, hey
but-
Houston. I'll tell you, I already talk the language. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I ain't never been
'Cause
that
if he
hot.
ends up a New York Jet and he's talking like that in New York, they're going
Right.
to crucify him, man. I'll tell you.
I'll tell you, I can't really play for New York because I talk like this. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
You guys
Yeah,
are
it's
that's messed up what y'all doing to him.
why? It's just weird.
Messed up. The man moved around a lot. Give him a break.
Anyway, I do like this though about what Derek Carr is doing. Stick it to the Raiders, bro. They were dumb enough to give you that contract that they gave you, and now they're asking you for a little bit of like relief. Like, hey, look, dude, this thing February 15th, it's right around the corner. We don't have enough time to make a move. We don't have enough time to make a trade. And if you don't give us some relief on February 15th, we're going to owe you like $40 million in guarantees. So can we extend this a few weeks? No, you can't. I'm taking my money or cut me.
It says, I'm not joking. This says, why does Derek Carr have a Southern accent? And this says that he lived in Texas after his brother was drafted.
That's funny.
So
How
there
old
you
was
go.
he?
It doesn't say. I can
All
look
right,
deeper.
whatever. Well, hey, that's how it happened, man. I was down there in Texas. I was down there in Texas, and I picked it up while I was down there,
The next one is, why does he sound like Elvis?
That's another good question. Why do I sound like
That's
Elvis?
hilarious.
Why is that?
Oh, God.
Why is
Jay,
that,
you seen
man?
the movie Elvis on HBO Max?
Great
See, I
movie.
liked it too. I liked it
Great
too.
movie.
Everybody ridicules me for saying I liked it. What's the
I thought it was really good. I thought, when you really delved into that, what's the kid, Austin? What's his name? I can't think of his last name.
the actor?
Yeah.
The guy who played Elvis?
I'll tell you, what an amazing performance, because he did it his own way, especially the young Elvis. He didn't try to make you feel like, but then when they made him older and they got him fatter and older, man, he looked exactly like Elvis. And, by that time he was so believable throughout the movie when they put him in that fat Elvis version of his dying days, man. It was really impressive because he had sold it so well up until that point.
Yeah. I liked it too.
I thought it was a great movie.
How old was his wife in the movie?
Oh, Browner's got a whole thing like that Elvis is like Jerry Lee Lewis or something. And I have no idea what he's even talking about, but Browner like just wants to beat up on Elvis because he's white.
Yeah, well, he met Lisa Marie when she was young. There's no doubt. They show that in the
What do you
movie.
mean,
I mean,
Lisa
they
Marie?
show.
I thought it was Priscilla.
I'm sorry, Priscilla. They show that in the movie, that how he was when he was like, sent to the military to do like, that time of his life, to clean up his act, and then he became kind of a movie star as a military guy, meeting her. So I don't think they tried to hide the fact that she was young and she was a prep school girl, but they just tried to show you how their love blossomed. I mean, she wasn't his first cousin. She wasn't, 14 or 13, she was, I think 16 and a half, 17, but he was a young 20s guy back in those days. That
She was
just
14.
wasn't uncommon.
She was 14.
I don't think she was 14.
Whatever. Browner just likes to listen. What Browner does is he beats up on the guy simply because he's white, and then he puts us in a defensive position
That's
where
not
we have
true.
to try and defend. I
I'm
don't
not
care about
defensive.
defending
I'm-
Elvis Browner. I don't care.
I'm
I
not
listen.
defending
I'm
him.
I don't
not
care,
sure.
man.
Hey, brother.
I saw
listen,
the
I'm
freaking
just-
movie, bro. That's all.
I'm just telling you. First of all, are you going to see 80 for Brady today? Let's get that out the way.
Okay. I'm so glad you brought that up. Am I going to see 80 for Brady today? Answer, negative. You know why? Don't have the time, number one. And it's not the kind of movie that I'm rushing out to go see. But
I won't see it.
you will not see that movie.
Why?
See, I told you. You're the only one.
Why would you go
You're
see?
the only
Why would you
one.
go see that movie?
You're the only man I know. You're the only one.
Here's
man.
why, Jay. Here's why.
It's gonna be so corny. I mean, they can't even make the trailer interesting.
Jay,
It's so corny.
I went to 2 movies in the theater in the last like 3-4 weeks. Of all the trailers of all the movies that are coming out, nothing looks good to me. Nothing looks interesting.
Knock at the Cabin don't look good to you?
Is Knock at the Cabin the Long Tong Shamadong.
Shyamalan.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's his
Wow.
name?
M. Night Shyamalan.
I'm not that far off. Come on, Browner.
All right, man. Long Dong Shamadong. Yeah,
I don't know
brother,
what
that
his
was-
name is. I don't know what the
You-
guy's name
that's-
is.
You missed
that
it.
that would actually be a funny adult film character, Long Dong Shyamalan, and it was like all these eerie situations where it was like, and then it just ends up he has sex with the person that was afraid of him.
So that movie doesn't look interesting to me. The only one that even looks remotely cute is the Brady movie. And I'll say this: if I were going to the movies and I were with my girlfriend, I say, "Hey, we're going to go to the movies tonight. What do you want to see?" We'd look at the theater and we go, "Hey, you know what? This 80 for Brady. Let's go see that." No.
It'd be you and her in there. Y'all had the whole theater to yourself.
Okay, good.
No.
Wow.
No.
I knew you were the only one. I knew it.
Nah.
I knew it. That movie's not gonna make no money. They're gonna owe money after that movie's done.
All right. Well, I'm not going to see it tonight. I can tell you that right now.
All right.
Hey, give me one quick second. I just want to mention one of our great sponsors, and I want to mention Penske San Diego, PenskeSanDiego.com. I met with a buddy of mine yesterday. He's like, "Hey, man, my daughter's turning 16, and I need to get her a used car. I don't care what it is. She doesn't care what it is. What do you suggest I do?" And I said, because he knows that we have this deal with Penske. And I said, look, go to PenskeSanDiego.com. They've got over 1,000 cars on their 12 lots representing their 9 brands, but they've also got a lot of certified pre-owned vehicles, and you can get some really great deals on them. So he said, well, do you suggest I go to this place or to that place? And you can find out all the different dealerships, where they are, et cetera, on their website. But he said, do you suggest I just go in and who do I see? And I said, no. Go to PenskeSanDiego.com, find the cars you're interested in, and then you'll be able to call ahead and they'll have all the cars waiting for you. And you'll walk in, hey, I'm here, go test drive, figure out what you want. But they make it fast, they make it easy, and really it's kind of a fun deal, a new way of buying a car, PenskeSanDiego.com. All right, so fellas, we were talking about Derek Carr, and I want to get into LeBron, and I also want to get into the Padres Fan Fest. But just to finish up on a little bit of football here, you guys seeing what's going on with Tony Romo and the Heat?
Yeah.
So there's this guy named Andrew Marchand, and Andrew is like the New York Post media critic. And I think the New York Post is like the only publication left in America that still has a media critic. So Marchand was doing this podcast, and he told this story that last year in the offseason, so around this time, CBS executives met with Romo to have a quote unquote intervention. Now, when you hear intervention, what do you normally think of?
Drug addicts,
drug, alcohol.
Yeah, like when you got it,
or
hey man,
eating
like
disorders.
right, somebody walks in the room, everybody that loves them is there. They come under attack. We love you. We're got to try and get you fixed.
What channel was that show on?
Intervention? Or was
it
A&E?
A&E. I always want to say
that was a
A&E.
wild
Yeah,
show.
Man. Them people were ugly crying on that show every episode.
Woo!
Really?
Ooh, you want to see some ugly cries? Well, watch Intervention. It is. Woo.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there were some heavy episodes. Meth heads.
Why the hell do I want to watch that?
That's what I said.
I mean, do you want? I'm gonna get done watching that and want to go just curl up in a ball and cry myself to sleep. Ugh, I don't want to see that nonsense.
Watching Intervention will make you want to get high. Like, how did these people's lives get so bad? Like, what?
Pass the pipe. I can't take this anymore.
So according to this guy, Andrew Marchand, he tells this story on this podcast that CBS executives had an intervention with Tony Romo to explain to him that, you know what? We gave you like this 10-year, $180 million contract, and you are getting worse rather than getting better. In other words, for every game broadcast that you do where we think, hey, a couple years ago, he's playing ball. He walked right out of the locker room, walked right into the number one, NFL broadcast team on CBS. He's working with Jim Nantz, and boy, for the first couple of years, everybody thought you were great. You're like, well, Jim, here's what they're about to do. You see this guy right here. He's going to run a little route, and they're going to quarterbacks and get it. And it happened. Like he was calling the plays before they happened. And now he's still doing it. He's like, well, they're going to run the ball right here. And then Nance is like, he drops back to pass. So
Yeah.
according to the story, CBS officials had an intervention with Tony Romo. And this is because they want to tell him, bro, you're kind of like becoming the Kyler Murray of broadcasters. Like you're not in the game as much as you were. So it requires a lot of film study to really get to know what these two teams do. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you got to study the tape before you go see the game on Sunday. And essentially what the accusation was, Romo doesn't study. Romo just shows up and goes, hey, I'm a big star. They pay me $18 million a year. I got TV commercials. Everybody thinks I'm awesome. Nance is carrying me anyway. So what do I have to do? All I have to do is show up and call the game. But CBS took great offense to the word intervention. They were like, intervention? Like, we meet with all of our talent in the offseason. We coach and we try and get them better every year. Intervention?
Did CBS ever meet with you and go, hey, Kaplan, this is what you're doing wrong?
Never.
Stop picking on Aaron Andrews.
Hey, Kaplan, use some Just for Men. You look terrible out there now.
Right. Drop a couple of tons, you fat bastard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right.
Nice reference. But it's funny that you say that because, about, I don't know if it was the playoff. I have a buddy back home. We text a lot. And then like, if we're both watching the same game on Sunday, we're just always like, oh, dude, you watching? And we had a text. I don't know if it was like one of the last regular season games or it was one of the first playoff games. And we were texting. He's like, dude, it's funny because then this story eventually came out. I didn't know anything about this until I saw the story recently. And we were texting, and I hope I saved the text, but he was like, dude, what happened to Romo? I used to really like him when he first came out. Like he sounds stupid. Like he sounds like, he's saying things like he's defending, terrible referee calls, or he's trying to like, take one side. He seems very da-da-da-da. And I was like, yeah, man, I go, that's a great point. I kind of even said, you mentioned Kyler Brewer, but I kind of even said, I go, his broadcasting career is kind of emulating his football career. Like he came out of the gate like, oh, wow, Tony Romo, who is this guy? He's so great. And then he just kind of just trickled off quickly. And then it just kind of, his career just kind of went down, and his reputation as a quarterback was like, he can't win. He's not getting any better. And so it's interesting because we were having that dialogue during one of the games where we were like, dude, he sounds terrible right now.
I know. And he's doing what he was, which is he's predicting what's coming. And when he was getting it all right, people were so impressed. Wow, Tony Romo, look how he does this. He calls these plays before they even happen. He knows the game so well. And now either he's been out of it as a player for a few years, or he legit is the Kyler Murray of broadcasters. You know how Kyler Murray last year when he got his new contract, they were like, hey, you're going to be required to study a certain amount of time because we don't want you playing video games all day. I guess Romo's playing golf. He's doing commercials. He's living the life of, former NFL rich quarterback who played for the Cowboys.
Sure.
I guess he's not doing the homework that it requires,
Yeah. And when he first started, there was probably a lot more guys in the league that he was in the league with, right? Now, 5-6 years later, some of those guys leave. There's still some of those guys, but there's a whole new stable of fresh young stars that he doesn't know. He's never really seen on the field unless he might get them once or twice or three times a year. So you're right. If he's not studying the film, if he's not really getting involved the week of the game that they're going to be broadcasting and the new faces and the young guys and where they went to college and what they did, that's going to expose you.
If we're really going to do this, we got to say the guy's just getting lazy. The guy's getting lazy. This is what happens when you pay an athlete. They get lazy. This is no different than you pay if he was still playing quarterback. You paid him this money. Now he takes a couple of days off extra that he wouldn't have taken before. He's not hungry no more. So right. I'm not shocked that Tony Romo sucks now.
But I think a lot of it is related. You know how like everything it always comes back to money. You know, like we'll look at a ball player and we'll be like, this guy makes $47 million a year, and that's what you get for $47 million. It's the same thing with Romo. He gets paid $18 million a year. Bro, you can't put in the time and the effort that it takes to go out there to be the number one guy. Hey, if we got you stuck on the number 7 or 8 team, you know, that's one thing. But you're on the number one team. You're on the game of the week. So I do find it interesting that Romo's getting grilled out there because he was America's darling.
And the one thing, going back to that, Kaplan, about the 47 million, that's what you get. That the one thing you can knock the NFL about their non-guaranteed contracts and whatever, but because of that, by and large, because of that, guys really do play with that warrior, give it everything they got mentality.
Stick around, everybody. We're going to pick it up from here. This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Visit murraylampert.com.
This is a huge wall. I'm sure it presented some challenges.
You're right, Sarah. And what it was in the model we noticed there was too much wood. This was supposed to be clad. And with the beautiful stairs and railings, we realized that we need to come up with a different finish. So we used these reglets that are metal with the drywall, and it gave it this grid look that also matches up with the beams.
Wow, that came out beautiful. If you want to see how they conquered more design challenges, check out Our Family, Your Home.
Sponsored by The Barnes Firm. Proud to support Black History Month. Car crash? Call 1-800-8-million for a free consultation.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need. Service dogs can range anywhere from $15,000 to $35,000, $40,000. And for someone getting out of the military that's seeking support and help, having that sort of price tag is daunting. So we really wanted to be able to support the veterans to make sure that they're getting a dog that they need in their life at no charge.
You know, I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us. So I found Shelter the Soldier online, and I reached out, and somebody contacted me within 24 hours. And in the next couple of weeks, I was already in the program meeting dogs.
Your View Community Spotlight is brought to you by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Flood.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Kaplan from Kaplan and Crew Tonight here on Cox Your View. Just want to tell everybody that Cox TV home base throughout Southern California, but you can get us on radio on 1090. You can get us on our YouTube channel, all the different audio podcast platforms. And I want to say thank you very much to a San Diego-based company that's selling all over the world. That's MedCline, MEDCLINE, medcline.com. They're going to change the way you sleep. They're our sponsor this month, and we appreciate you guys. Visit medcline.com.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.